Hello, welcome to the 1878 FM podcast. After another game and Everton didn't lose because they lost the one before, so it's all good. We're back. Normal service has been resumed. Draw FC. 2 defeats in 12 for the Toffees. That's what I'm going with. That's the badge I'm wearing today. It feels like it's lovely and sunny outside. It's lovely and sunny in this podcast. Look at the faces of Dave and Sam. Really happy. And I love it. I love it. How are you, gentlemen?
Very good, thank you. Enjoying the sunshine makes everything better. So, yeah, all is good in the world. Thank you. Yourself?
Good. It's all good. Sam, you okay?
I'm great. I've just got a little ray of sunlight coming through the skylight, and I might have to keep moving my desk around this table. So if you see me shuffling, don't be concerned.
Is it like
Everybody's shuffling.
like in James Bond with that laser? You know, when it's going.
That's what it is.
A little bit. It's more like in
head.
Indiana Jones when the sunlight comes through and like
It's
tells
a
them where to
shaft
go.
of light.
The shaft of light,
Shaft of
Dave.
light.
You beat me to
It's
it.
going to point you to where the.
You're damn
the
right.
arc is. Fair play.
Can you dig
Fair
it?
play. Peter, are you okay?
No.
Okay, that's good. David,
Yes,
I want to start with you. Obviously, Everton won, Arsenal won, but it was your last trip
it
to
was.
Goodison Park. How was it? You mentioned it last week and a little bit of trepidation. We're unsure about how you would feel. So now it's all done and dusted. What was it like, and what was it like at the end of the game?
It was weird. I thought it would be weird, and it did feel weird. Driving to the game and I just kept having this feeling, thinking, I'll never do this again. You know, I never do this route. I'll never park in the same place, and all these different things. And then I was running a bit late as well, which made me slightly anxious. But anyway, it was all fine. I was to meet my cousin Alison by the church and have a quick catch up with her. And I don't know. I think the weather was slightly odd as well, with it being, well, not odd, but with it being an early kickoff, and it was so bright and sunny, and it felt like a summer's day, which didn't really feel particularly match-like, if you will. I just felt quite emotional all the way through, to be honest with you. I was sat there and I mean, listen, especially on 9 minutes and stuff like that. I thought the tribute to Super Kev was lovely and was a really special moment to be, in that ground for the last time with 40,000 people all stood applauding, a top player and a top bloke, as we all know. And that made me emotional, but just the whole thing, I just had sort of certain points during the game where I just felt I don't know, just a bit welling up. And then, the result was the result. And pleased to have not lost it. And then walking out, like the walking out bit, I think was the bit that I was most not fearful about, but I just thought that would be strange in terms of the sensors, and sort of walking out onto Goodison Road for the last time. And that sort of, I tell you what was quite poignant was coming down the stands to exit. And of course you're looking at the pitch and then you do that turn, don't you, to go down the stairs. And as I was waiting behind this old boy who was in front of me, and I'm thinking, literally in a matter of seconds, I'm going to turn for the last time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that, I was almost there, kind of just sort of soaking up that view of the pitch, just thinking any minute now, because as soon as I turn, that's it. I'm never going back. And then sort of to the same extent on leaving the ground and walking out. But, and I mentioned this to you, I think on our text group in, the last couple of days, that because it was so bright and sunny, it was 2:30 as we were coming out.
Yeah.
And people are in shorts and whatnot. And it didn't really feel like leaving a match. It felt more like just being in a crowd somewhere on holiday, which made for, I don't know, it was all a bit surreal and a bit sort of dreamlike, and it didn't really feel like your normal leaving the match experience in the cold or the wet and, sort of marching up Priory Road for me back up to the car park. I mean, it was actually a case of strolling across Stanley Park with people sunbathing. So again, that didn't really feel typical. It felt a bit different. So, but yeah, all in all, I'm really pleased that I went. I had to go, but it was an odd day. I knew it would be an odd day, and it was an odd day. I still can't quite get my head around the fact that, for me personally, it will never happen. I can't even begin to wonder what the final day is going to be like for you and for so many others that are there week in, week out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of tears and a lot of hugs and a lot of just a huge amount of emotion. There's no doubt about that, because everything that I felt, I think, on Saturday will be heightened even more by the fact that it will be, shared and by everybody. And I think everybody's emotions will rub off on everybody else. Whoever you're stood next to, and everybody having those same kind of feelings that I was, and yeah, it's going to be a very, very strange day, which we'll wait and see what it's like. But I'll be fascinated to sort of hear your views after the Southampton game.
Sam, are you gonna get there before the season ends, or have you already had your last look at it? Basically,
I don't know, to be honest, Baz. I'm not sure, unless someone can furnish me with a ticket. It's looking unlikely that I'll get there again, but I'm okay with that, because the way I've sort of put it into my mind is that first time I went to Goodison was with my mum and dad, and the last time I went to Goodison was with my son.
Right.
And what better way of passing on that kind of lineage?
Full circle, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think if I could go on my own, I think I'd rather my last time at Goodison was with me lad, who's now become this rabid Evertonian, which I didn't think he would be. So that's kind of nice. And I think as even not being at the match, just like in our text group, reading Dave's lovely comments about his experience and other fans' experiences going the match, we're edging closer, aren't we, to that moment where it does become the past. And it's just because that, the ground that your team plays at, Goodison Park, especially for Evertonians, it's the constant in your life, along with the club, that is longer standing than almost anything. Like any kind of, family members come and go, you move house, you change jobs, Goodison's always there. You go bald, you lose your hair, but Goodison stays. And what Everton are doing is getting a hair transplant in terms of Bramley-Moore Dock, and that's really exciting. But I think Goodison deserves that level of emotion that we're going to give it over the remaining games, and God knows what's going to happen in the last game. There's all sorts of rumours knocking about now, isn't it, about when it'll be, who's going to appear. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope they keep it on the same day that it's supposed to be for the fans who are going, who are the most important ones there.
Yeah.
What do you think of? Obviously, we've heard in the last couple of weeks different stories about what's going to happen to Goodison Park afterwards, and there is now obviously talk that Everton might keep it, and it might be, it could be possibly for the women's team.
Yeah.
It could be redeveloped. It might be redeveloped. It might just have access to some points of the stadium. Some may not. Now, when I first heard this, I was a bit, I didn't really like the idea. But in the last week with the Chelsea situation and the whole PSR and selling grounds back to yourselves and all this kind of thing, is that made any difference to the way you've looked at it, or do you think it's a good idea in the first place? What do you think, Dave?
I'm quite excited about the prospects of having it for the women's team, to be honest with you, because it means that it will obviously stay intact as a ground, first and foremost, and that I think would be a good thing, and I think most people would agree, because actually it would mean that it is somewhere that we can still go back to, and go and have a walk around, or go to a match there, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously once it's, the alternative is, if it's redeveloped in whatever way it is redeveloped, at the risk of stating the obvious, it will, that's it. It's gone. It will never be the same again. Whereas at least this way, it is a way of actually retaining it there as a ground. So for me personally, that would be the best scenario all around, and I would imagine a lot of people feel the same way.
Your thoughts on that, Sam?
I don't know. I still don't know what I think, to be honest, because I feel like we're making this big song and dance about leaving Goodison, as we should. And to be honest, this song and dance makes it sound like a negative. what I mean by that is we're marking the end of Goodison that we didn't seem to kind of focus on at the start of the season. This whole season should have been a celebration of Goodison. Of course, the start of the season, there was problems on the pitch, wasn't there? A lot of problems on the pitch, and our future was uncertain. So I can understand why perhaps that wasn't focused upon then. But it feels like we're building up to this emotional moment, and then we're like, oh, by the way, we're not leaving. I used to work with a guy, and this was about 20 years ago, worked in the Liver building for this insurance company, and I hated my job. And this guy was leaving, and we all had a collection, as you do. And he got about 250 quid in this collection, which at that point was like more than a week's wages. And on the day he was leaving, he got offered a new contract and he stayed. So we had a leave and do for him. He kept his collection.
Bastard.
No.
And then he stayed. So it would feel a little bit like that. I would feel a little bit like all the emotional journey that we're going on would it's a different journey that we should be on if we're going to keep the ground. The flip side to that thing is what you mentioned, Ped, about like Chelsea selling. Yeah, I don't understand the ins and outs of it,
No,
but Chelsea just scratch their arse and find 30 million quid that they can throw against PSR, don't they? So if you can sell your women's team back to you, or your stadium to your women's team, or you can do all these kind of jiggery pokery, then it looks like other clubs are going to do it. Everton should be doing it as well. If it can help us, but be better on the pitch, which is ultimately all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think also, but if it was to be retained for the women or whatever, then presumably that would then also open up the possibility of having, I don't know, some kind of Legends game there, or something which is a harkback, because if it still exists, do you see what I mean?
No, yeah. I mean, those things should have been done this year. In fact, those things should be done next month, if I'm honest, Dave. I mean, I even suggested this to people at the football club ages and ages ago. Not that I'm the any kind of lead on anything, but I suggested something to the football club a while back, which would have been on the 40th anniversary of when we won the European Cup, Companies Cup. And, I was told, oh, yeah, things are in hand, and there's absolutely nothing happening. And that's what makes me more annoyed about the whole situation, is that it doesn't feel like anything's happened with the ground at all. We're not being told anything. Okay, there's something going to happen after the last game, but no one knows what it is. It's shrouded in mystery. Fine, no problem. Might end up being unbelievable, but I feel like there should have been like small little things as we leave, and there isn't. There's just a few tours going on, and as I said, I would have had like a Legends game where we had the whole of the 85 team out on the 40th anniversary. All of them come out on the pitch in full kit, almost ready to play a game, and then leave like, after a couple of minutes, one by one. So, could you imagine that? Goodison being full, everyone standing up, and all these players get that one opportunity to say goodbye in that manner, rather than just being brought on the pitch on the last day in a suit. Something like that. And then you could have had all the other legends, like not legends, but then you've got like your Kales of the world and people like that could have got involved. All those Leon Osman, people who didn't even get an opportunity to say goodbye, by the way. Leon Osman, Tony Ibbett, Stephen Pienaar, all these kind of people, Jags, Baines, all these people, but it fell on deaf ears, and it doesn't feel like anything's happening. In
their defence, though, Ped, do you think that maybe if the new owners had been in situ earlier on, then there might have been more of a chance? Because obviously, they've come in sort of halfway through, and maybe they've got bigger things to sort. I'm just sort of explaining.
Oh no, definitely, Dave. But I do feel like there's plenty of people at the football club who've been there for a long time who should have just organised this and had it already in the plans. But maybe you're right. Just on like, for me personally, I'm not really in favour of Goodison staying as it is, because I just feel like it'll just become the novelty would wear off. As Sam said, then we're moving. But I'd say if they decided to maybe knock it down and rebuild a new ground for the women's team and have all the brand new brilliant facilities, I would be up for that. But for me, I'm a little bit like Sam. It's like when we walk out at Southampton, I feel like that for me is it. I know it might be different for other people who don't get there as regularly and stuff, and there will be opportunities. And if the women stay, listen, that's brilliant. But personally, I just feel like the novelty will wear off quite quick of going to Goodison Park, because who wants to go and watch football on a Saturday and a Sunday, and unless you've got maybe kids taking and stuff like that, it just wouldn't be the same for me because I just don't have that emotional attachment. Me and Baz have said many times we've been inside Goodison when there's nobody there, or we've played there, and it doesn't feel the same. It just doesn't quite have that. You're not surrounded by those people who you're connected with, and this has been said about the moving as well. It's like, we've got a new ground and it's amazing, but it's the people who fill these grounds that make it amazing. Yeah. It's the people who make the atmosphere. The ground can't make it on its own. It has to be the people has to fill it with all those memories and stuff. So if Everton decide to do it, fair play. But I'd like to think that they do it properly and then make sure that the women's team and possibly the 21s and possibly the 18s get the best facilities possible if we're going to move this club forward as a whole thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there talk of like a music festival or some kind of 3-day?
Yeah, there was talk of a music festival, because basically they went round, Everton went round and made sure all the locals knew that, part of the licensing requirements. They went round and put things on around the ground and posted through them that there was going to be preparations for a 3-day festival the weekend after the season finished, the weekend after the season finished, I think it was. But that's gone, that's disappeared. I'll be honest.
Just went quiet.
The preparations for the end of the season or the whole season have been abysmal. I mean, I think I can say that without being upsetting anyone. They have been abysmal. They started the season with these ideas of having these like Legends nights. There was like 2 or 3 planned, and no one bought tickets for them because frankly the people they got on weren't fantastic for the price. And we were told, they're going to be delayed. We're just putting them on the back burner. No, they've disappeared and they've replaced it with absolutely nothing. So we're going to get, obviously, whatever we get after the last game, great. I'm sure it'll be amazing. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. And if it is a night game, I'm sure we'll get fireworks or a drone display or something. But I just feel like for the last season at Goodison, it's been really, really lacklustre. And I feel like there's been lots of opportunities to make money as well. A final day kit commemorating Goodison Park. There's no sign of that. I think everyone would have bought one of them. I think there's so many opportunities. They brought a training top out and a training quarter zip on, and it sold out so quickly. You can't get hold of one anywhere. Now, why weren't they mass produced? Or why wasn't it just feels like, and maybe, you've both mentioned it there, the change of ownership, maybe, but the whole thing of like Sean Dyche putting it down on the whole season as well, and it all being about survival, it almost feels like Goodison Park's been an afterthought. But you only get one chance, and I think so far we haven't done it really, too well at all. So there has been a few things, the tours, and I know there's a few other things going on, but they're all sort of like smaller events. Where I was hoping there was going to be some real large events, and as you said, like some kind of Legends game. I really feel like we've massively missed an opportunity there. Liverpool are always having Legends games? Every year get 40,000. I just feel like it's an opportunity that's been missed.
Definitely. What if though the final whistle goes against Southampton, and all of a sudden this plane goes above Goodison, and out of it jumps this figure? And you're like, what's that? Is that Batman? And as he gets close to the ground, you realise it's Paul McCartney. He's got his bass in his hand. Next to him's Ringo. You got the singer from the Cult. You basically got any famous Everton musicians. They land on the centre circle and they just start playing.
Ian Asprey's the name you were looking for.
Yeah. That's the one.
The guy from Ocean Colour Scene as well, and Keith Mullen. What kind of insurance would we be looking for though with Paul McCartney jumping out of a plane?
We'll figure that out.
We use that against PSR.
Because Liz McLaren as well.
Liz McLaren.
She doesn't like planes though.
She could come up.
She doesn't. She's got an Instagram account where she goes all over Europe by train because she doesn't like planes. So that's unfair. That's the first down, isn't it?
Just tell her early then.
Listen, we'll bus her in early.
Hang on, Dave. Didn't you convert half of New York rap into Evertonians? The likes of Nas and a few other people that maybe we're not. Maybe there's a few other people that we're not allowed to mention anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even want to hazard a sort of a go at any of those names because
don't bring the baby oil.
Now.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm not gonna do any of that. But no, you're right. I mean, I don't like to talk about the tremendous good work that I did around the world, obviously publicising the great name of this football club. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I just can't think of Paul McCartney jumping out of a plane and what could happen at Goodison Park. It doesn't bear thinking about.
Could you imagine the insurance on that?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He'd probably do his
nightmare.
cruciate. He'd do his cruciate, wouldn't he?
Cruciate.
He'd be out for
Or it
6
could be
months.
like the Olympics where someone jumps out and you think it's Paul. It could be Steve Rotherham, and with the hair.
I know, but
No, but like he jumps and then he goes behind something, and now comes Paul McCartney with his bass,
His head.
and you're all like, "Yeah, it's Paul McCartney."
He got
Be
Dan
a cult
Freakin
that.
flying the plane.
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone will be there as
yeah.
well.
Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone.
Fly,
I
loving
don't know
it.
whether she's an Evertonian or not. We can get Diana Ross taking a penalty. It'd be
Yeah,
brilliant.
Surely, surely we've got the Dame there.
Dame Judi
Dame
Dench.
Judy would be there.
Jane
Yeah.
Duke,
Mary
yeah.
Berry just rustling up a Victoria Sponge on the side. It's the list could be endless.
It very much could be endless,
know.
yeah.
All wearing the Danker kit.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, right, and this is a true fact, all these people had arrive, and then loads of people were kicking off that they got tickets.
Yeah, of course they would. Of course they would.
Sam would be outside going, what? What's going on?
What's McCartney doing in
How
here?
does he get a
Carney
ticket?
didn't go to West Ham away, did he?
Well, where's his credit?
He's not a member. He's even got a client reference.
Yeah.
He
No.
didn't sleep on the floor outside the ground to get cup final tickets in '95.
You know, and that's you have got to be careful of that.
Andy Bush will be doing his indie disco on the side.
Well, him and
Yep.
the other fella, Richie, are doing a
Richie.
cycle, aren't they, from Goodison to the Emirates? And
So
apparently
so
you
they
can
say.
sponsor a part of the body.
Yeah, I saw that today. They've got like an M&S style advert where you can sort of put your logo on their rump and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we still.
I mean, and that's not a euphemism. That's actually a fact.
Fact, that is fact. So there you go.
Well, and as you said, really, that cycle should be the other way around.
It should have been.
Should have
Yeah,
been.
it should have been
but that would be
Emirates
going
finishing the
That would be going uphill all the way, though, wouldn't it?
Well, but that's life. That's it. You want it to be a bit of a, you've got to.
I mean, there's nothing more Evertonian than going uphill all the way, is there?
Yeah.
No, see. What Richie could have been coming downhill and he's going uphill. And he could have
Yeah.
Do you think the Sultan of Brunei will be at the last game?
possibly, because he was
Oh,
going
yeah.
to buy us
Yeah.
many times. Josh Wander will turn up with the hat.
It's Gaddafi's son.
Is he still an
Is he
Evertonian?
still alive?
I don't know.
Khloe Kardashian as well. Get her in.
They'll have John Texter and Josh Wander will turn up. Fighting
Yeah,
over who
777.
nearly
This is
bought
what you could have won.
fighting over nearly getting it. Mobiles come back and go, I'm still a Everton player for a few weeks.
Yeah,
Then we all do
imagine that.
Yoki Koki around the centre circle.
Mopai getting tickets and selling them to the highest bidder outside.
Doesn't care. Mobi just trying to boil piss. I've got 12 memberships that I got from Marseille. Imagine it.
Oh, good times.
Be interesting.
Anything else happened this week?
No, not really. So, yeah, listen, it's the game, by the way, Everton drew.
Yeah. I think everyone knows that.
Done all right.
It's Tuesday.
Done all right. Nothing really went on in it. It was good to see Njai back, obviously. Just listening to Dave there, because I was thinking when he was going like that last turn and walking out and all that, have you given any thoughts to it yet? Is it getting, because me and you talked about this with the lads earlier in the year, and it was like, because we hated everything that was going on at the club, whether it was a ownership thing that was just gone, whether it was the manager in charge of the team that didn't want to be there and all that. So everything did feel wrong thinking about it. It was like, it's unimportant because we hate everything else. But now it's in a much better... No, but
ate everything.
it was hard enough.
No, of course it was.
Right? But now it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
So have you given any thought? Is it feeling real? There's three games to
honestly,
go.
still doesn't feel. Still walked
But
out.
not listening to Dave's account then of walking.
No, Dave.
that turn and walking
You can't replicate Dave's because Dave's account. Well, I mean, number one, he didn't come and see us. Turning
I
up
was
late
running.
because he was
I was running late.
Yeah.
running. Hang on, sorry. Running late because you had a late night with a match of the day presenter.
Yeah.
Won't say who it is.
No.
Might be Gabby.
What-
But
No, it wasn't.
Could have
Gabby.
been Lineker or Shearer.
Wasn't
Who
Lineker.
knows? Could have been
Lynham.
anyone. We know
Wasn't
we don't. But you know.
But yeah.
Oh, you're
so-
right. I did.
So that's fine.
That's fine.
Not a problem.
That's fine.
Not a problem.
That's you.
But
That's
don't dress it up early. Anyway, so then.
No, I honestly, I was listening to Sam there, and I was just thinking, well, I've got me. The only thing I suppose is like I've got my dad with me. That's the only thing, and my dad stopped going for many years, and then he came, he came back 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, the worst
He came
time.
back 2.5 years
God.
ago and said, "Yeah, I want to go." Because basically he found out that we all stood in the Gladys. He gave it up when they put seats in the Gladys Street. He was like, "That's me." And then he came back when he realised we all stood up in the Gladys Street, and he's been going ever since. And I'm just glad I've got it. Like Sam was saying there, full circle. It's the same for me. It's like I think this is like my 40th anniversary of going the game. So to be going the game, still going the game with my dad, will be something special. So
it will be. It'd be like
so that's
I'll be there with me dad and me lad. So like the 3 generations there of a way to sign off from it. But it's when you it's all up. I think when Dave's saying and it's all the people around it, isn't it? It's the people around you that you've sat with for years, and it's like, because I know like quite a few of them are not well, they're not going to be sitting anywhere near me in the new place and all that, and it'll be that thing.
There'll be people there that you've seen and spoken to for decades who realistically you might never see again.
Yeah,
and have
absolutely.
experienced like a family every possible emotion with those people, haven't you? Really, from joy to misery and everything in between, boredom, all of that. And I think if I was there on the last day, I'd be trying to hold it together, because that's what we do in it as British men. We try and keep our emotions kind of like.
I don't think I'd be able to.
No, I wouldn't be able to. And as soon as I saw some big meathead start crying, I'd just be like, I'm gone now.
I'm just thinking, how many people in the ground on the last day are going to be so happy to get away from a person next to them? Because no, but there's a reason. Because for the last how many years, they've been calling them by the wrong name. There's guaranteed to be loads, isn't there? Where someone's been going, he's probably heard half of them having a conversation, or someone called them something, or getting half a story, and he's been like, all right, Jim, and like the fella didn't correct him the first time. So for the last 30 odd years, he's been sitting there, you're right, yeah, like
you can't.
We need name tags for the last game. Hello, my name is Peter.
Well, but isn't it that thing, right? I've said this before. It's that thing of like where we don't walk up and go, I am. We just don't do it, do we? And I remember when I was working in social services, this got nothing to do with the match, but I was working in social services, and I used to pick up a kid to take to see its mum and dad, and from a foster carer. And we never sort of had the conversation of, I assumed she knew who I was, right? And I'd see her every week, and I'd get the child and take them and then bring them back. And a few times she called me Danny, right? And first of all, I thought, did she just call me Danny? And I thought, no, she never. Anyway, she did. And I didn't know at first. I thought, I don't know when to say, my name isn't Danny, right?
My name is.
But after a bit, I did. I went, why do you call me Danny? And she went, is that not your name? I went, no. And she went, you look like a Danny. Right? So that was one thing. And this other thing, was while we're on it, I went in, we used to have to go in the house and all that, and she said to me, there was a picture of her when she got married to her husband and that, and she said, do you think I look like Lady Diana? And you know what I said? Instead of saying...
Oh, you didn't say in Paris, did you?
Listen, instead of saying whether you do or not, I said, now. And Diana had been dead about 15 years, you know what I mean? And she just sort of looked at me and went, what are you like? She didn't look anything
get out
like
my house,
Diana.
Danny.
Get out my house, Dan. Don't ever come back. So back to the match. There is people who mate. I don't know what the names are. Do you know what I mean? So we'll be one of them. Maybe when I get to the new stadium, I'll go and go, hi.
Do you know what your name is?
Yeah, but
well, they'll know who. Hey, listen, I got recognised from Toffee TV on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did that feel awkward though after your,
after
tremendous,
you are the most famous one of
tremendous media career?
Yeah, but you know what? But I think that's just the way that times change. And actually, so this woman who was 2 or 3 along from me, and she kind of goes, are you from Toffee TV? And I said, yeah. I was quite proud actually.
There you go.
I got
Beautiful
a video
story.
sent to me by my cousin in Australia. My auntie, Kathy Hamlin, give her a shout out. She's a mad blue, lives in Melbourne. And my cousin, her daughter, sent me this video. And it was just, she scanned around. She went, I thought I recognised this voice. And she just scanned around, and it must have been one of these podcasts on. And she said in a Aussie accent, she was like, I thought I recognised your voice whinging about Everton. It's like, yeah, that was me.
Brilliant.
But my auntie's a big fan of the channel.
Hello to, what's her name again?
Kathy.
Hello,
Kathy.
Thank you very much. Lovely to hear that. It's going to be weird. It's going to be, not Kathy, it's not going to be weird. Everton, it's going to be weird, isn't it? When you
Do you think there'll be a lot of people just sat in their
the worst
seat
thing is her
for
name's Sheila.
10, 15, 20 minutes afterwards?
Well, there's rumours, isn't there, that, they're unconfirmed, that Everton have got sort of a licence for after the game, and that you're going to be left in your seat for us within reason, as long as you want to be there. So I think some people will stay for a few hours, I imagine. I don't think I'll stay that long. But
I'd be sat there waiting for Taylor Swift to turn up.
Well, that might be it. And Paul McCartney doing a duo. He's done one with Elton John, so why not?
With Paul McCartney before. No, I think initially, so there's definitely going to be something afterwards, because obviously Everton have put in for a licence for like an hour and a half afterwards. But I think that's why people were open. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I've seen the majority of feedback I've seen don't want like a Monday night game for this very reason, because if the game kicks off at 8 o'clock and then there's something afterwards, you're talking 11:30, aren't you, afterwards? And then it feels like, oh, is it finished yet? Everyone's sort of rushing to get off. And I think people, initially when I spoke to people, were hoping it was going to be Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Something would happen, and then Everton would just go, we're not shutting the gates. You know, you can stay as long as you want almost, so you can just have your time at the stadium. Because like you said there, Dave, it's that when you round that corner, that is the last time ever. So,
and that was something, by the way, that I hadn't, I'd thought about the final day quite a lot, and there was things that I knew, moments that I knew, whether it was, parking up or going back to the car park or, meeting my cousin or whatever it was. But the one thing, which, as I say, was probably the most poignant thing, I'd never even thought about, that thing about the final turn. I never thought about it until about 30 seconds before it happened. And I was just there thinking, God, this is it. Literally.
That's it.
I'm like two steps from turning, and I thought, and as I did it, I was almost doing it in slow motion and kind of like looking over.
It's
really weird,
isn't it?
Yeah. So I think people almost wanted that. Probably wanted that safety blanket of feeling like they weren't getting rushed out of the ground. I think people, it felt like that's what people wanted or still want.
If they leave the bar open, they could actually call it the hit the bar challenge, couldn't they?
Yeah.
And everyone just get the aim.
But even that though, like you think about if it was a Sunday afternoon, and then it was on for like an hour and a half afterwards, and it kicked everyone out by 7 or 8 o'clock, then people have got a good opportunity to have a few drinks then, haven't they, in all the local bars, the Winslow and stuff. Is that
they've still got those old ladies pouring the changs, I mean, if they kept it open for 3 or 4 hours,
you'll get one drink.
You could maybe, I reckon in 3 hours you could get 2 cans of chang down. Yeah.
So after the game, after the game, you've got. Are people going to have that opportunity to stay out, and then it suddenly becomes Monday night, Tuesday morning, doesn't it? And it's is it the same for people who are going with families, or like we've just said, like with me Alfella or Baz's Alfella and Baz's lad, you're like, we've got to get home because you've got school in the morning or whatever. For me. That's why I don't really want a Monday night, because I just feel like. I want to do it in my own time. I want to feel like I can say goodbye in my own time rather than being rushed through some kind of Everton, extravaganza, and then like bye, that's it. And
it should never be a Monday night anyway.
No, it shouldn't be a Monday night anyway.
For so many reasons, it should never ever be that. And I think it'll be it'd be criminal if it is, but it could be, sadly.
It probably Sunday, will be. You get that time, don't you? Because the atmosphere after the match and after all the things have gone on, if it's on the Sunday, because it is sad, but it will be a celebration and there'll be this lovely atmosphere. If it's on a Monday night, like you say, it's going to be like emotional fast tracking. Here's you go, feel this way, get out, see you next time.
I'd say I don't.
And then it's done, isn't it?
I don't want it managed by somebody else. And even though I mightn't even stay in the ground, I want to feel like that's my decision to leave the ground. I'm going to leave now because I want to leave now, not because a steward is going, come on now, let's all go homes to go to. No, for this one occasion, mate, we haven't got homes to go to, but if it happens, probably the club will just blame Sky, and Sky will just go, no, it was the club, and it'll all fall on deaf ears, because that's what it feels like. No one's made any comments on it so far, and no one's made any comments on what's happening. Maybe if Everton came out and said, listen, it's a night game for this particular reason. Oh, we've got all these people lined up and it's going to be amazing, but it has to be a night game. Maybe then people will go, well, that for those reasons are obviously the reasons why it's going to be an amazing thing. But I think they'd be missing the point. I don't think you need all that. I just think people need to be left to. It's in many ways just mourn.
Yeah. It's gonna be certainly a poignant moment when it's all done. And obviously the new
We've got
stadium.
3 more first, so
The new stadium's coming along well. So a bright new future in the summer. Ped, you were at the tip the other day sending selfies, and I loved it because we said this last week. Whenever we go now, there's got to be pictures. We had one off Sam the other day. You still, despite the discussion last week of whether to put your liker on and go to tip then work out, he still went and done it anyway. So I like that. He stuck to his guns.
What I did
He
was
stuck to everything in that life.
Well, he was in the liker, to be fair. He was.
see this tip run this week. It was like a double.
Double tip run.
Well, it was a double tip run.
That's fair play.
But it was a double. It was a double like reason for going at this time.
Okay.
Number 1, tip run. Number 2, Liverpool were playing.
Yeah.
So I was trying to catch
We're
the
trying to
same
catch some out.
people out that like you said you
my
experienced.
God. Yeah.
So I was thinking, right, we'll go to tip now. We said, I will leave. No, we're going now. So we went.
We've got a window to get.
Yeah, we got a window. So we went and didn't catch, but the match was on. They had it on, like so it's blaring out. The match is on, and then at that point it was 3-2, and I was expecting any minute to wear the goal. But my missus had an Everton t-shirt on, one of our Toffee TV t-shirts, which I don't really feel like she should be wearing to the tip.
No. Feels a bit disrespectful, but fair
But
play.
she had it on, and one of the fellas stopped her and went, boo. Let's just booed at it. The fellow who worked there, I was mindful to make a complaint to Steve Rotherham, but I thought it would fall on deaf ears
It would fall
as
on
he's
deaf
trying to sort out the rail network.
He doesn't
His
answer.
ears are
so
covered
we're
by
fine.
his hair, so we can't hear very well.
Yeah. Woo. And he's preparing for a
He
skydive.
booed you, yeah.
So, right, so I was not in earshot of this, because obviously otherwise I would have gone over and given him a stern talking to.
Did your Sam not give him the customary salute? You know,
She just sort of looked at him and thought, you're working in a tip on a match day. Not that there's working on a tip's any problem, but you're working in a tip on a match day.
When you should be
So
watching the match.
we went back home, and then we had more stuff because we're having a massive clear out now, like a proper like
A proper spring clean.
Like we are one step from Tingo knocking on our door. Oh my God!
Stacey?
Yeah,
Well,
we
fair
are
play.
proper like
Fair
one step
play.
away from here.
Big
But I just
souls.
couldn't cope with Joe coming in and his
No,
kids.
Swash coming
No, it's his kids. It's your kids, man.
No.
It's your
It's
kids.
the orange. He's gone too orange.
So we went back. We had loads of books. She had loads and loads of books, and they had like a book recycling thing. So,
Okay.
and then so we're putting them in, and the fella just looks at us and goes, 3-2. Oh well, and just walks off. And I was just like, let's go. No, so first you boo us, and then you tell us the score of how your team had just got beaten. I was thinking, you're not as committed as we are to our football
Didn't
club,
feel
mate.
like it.
You're not
Doesn't
as
feel
committed.
like it.
I would never see someone who's a red and go, yeah, we just got beat, mate, and just just in case you don't know.
I'd like to think you wouldn't see a red and boo them anyway.
No, wouldn't
Just
you?
boo
Ask?
it. It would be
No,
a bit
but
strange.
I think a lot of Reds, though, if they're like, when you see someone wearing a Ramones t-shirt and you go, what's your favourite Ramones song? And they go, the Ace of Spades. And you're like, that's Motorhead, mate. What you're on about? So, not against those people, but that's what a lot of Reds feel like when I meet them.
No, absolutely. They've all got their replica milk cups in the cupboards, just, waiting for that to come back round. They're just a strange bunch, but listen, it was a
The
successful...
ones, I told you this, I took the dog out and the ones who the game was going on, Liverpool top on, in a park, not even listening to the game. I'm like, what are you doing?
No, Sam's right. That's what it's always
What are
been
you
like in this
doing?
city.
And why aren't you watching the match which was on? Why are you in it and you're not even listening to it? If you're so nervous that you can't watch it or listen to it, why have you felt necessary to put a Liverpool top on? And you're playing? Oh, you know what I mean?
But
Just a
as
bit
much
mad.
as we snipe, I would love Everton to get to the point where there's people wearing Everton tops, and I go, "Oh, the game this week," and they're like, "What game?" And they don't know because it's just become like a piece of
fashion
apparel
thing. Okay, yeah,
that
fair
people
play.
wear, because that's a sign that your club's obviously being very successful. But
No, I
while
don't
we're not
believe
doing that, we
that,
can
Sam. I
snipe.
think it's just basically showing that your dad left. It is, though. I've said this for years. The amount of kids in Liverpool who've got
we were
Liverpool
doing so well.
No,
you were doing so well.
I have no issue.
You'd almost got through
this
it
to
without
me.
insulting anyone.
I'll listen.
Almost.
This is a problem with the city we live in, Baz, and you recognise this because you worked in social services. But the amount of kids in this city who their mother just puts a Liverpool kit on them.
Or father. Could be a father.
No, it's never a father, right? It's never a father. If it's a father, it's fine because...
Man, got to be some...
No. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. There's no point beating around the bush on this. The amount of women who are single mothers, look at the grimace on his face because he knows I'm telling the truth, who just shove Liverpool kits on their kids for no other reason than it's Liverpool and they win trophies. And that's it.
You've got no role model. You've got no role model.
See? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. We all know it's true.
So when you drove away from the tip, did you feel...
Put it this way, right? No single mother is putting an Everton kit on their kids, are they?
No, but that's fair.
Unless they go the match.
That's fair play.
And they're good role models. They're a mother and a father to that child. Well done. Fair play. Here, game 2 for that woman, that lady.
Did it feel good? Getting rid of a lot of stuff. It does feel good, though.
But it's not just baggage. It's emotional baggage.
It is emotional baggage.
It is. I need to get to the tip that you go to, Ped, because I've mentioned this before. I've still got paint. I've got paint in me.
Oh, it's got everything, mate.
It's not.
I go to this tip too, Samuel.
It's a tremendous tip. Yeah, but you don't feel like you go as often as me.
No.
You know, can I ask a question? You know, with the paint,
tip two.
do you have to tip out? Because I've never deposited paint at the tip that I'm aware of.
You don't tip it out.
No, you just leave
well, this is what I'm asking, Barry. You know,
they have trained engineers.
David, you just place it in a designated area.
Fine. Okay. So then somebody else obviously separates out the metal from the
Maybe
paint
they do. Yeah, they have a fridge section as well.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that.
Oh, it's tremendous.
And it's got we've said it before.
It's like an all you can eat.
Got a roof on it.
It's like an all you can eat.
You've also got a charity section.
Yeah.
Charity
books, clothes, glass,
books, clothes. All sorts. You got the
I feel like going
in the middle.
I feel like going against
middle aisle.
I just want to take some more pictures at the tip because I feel like I'm missing out on this.
Okay, but I've got
tip at the moment.
I've still got plenty.
I'll be going probably not this weekend, but maybe next week because we've got.
Should we double tip it?
And
should we get there together and people go, whoa, whoa?
And you can high five, and they kind of go, oh my god, it's both of them. It's like the Lennon and McCartney of Toffee.
Toffee TV tips.
Did he jump out of a plane?
To be honest, there's that many tip pictures in our WhatsApp group now. I've been tempted to actually just Photoshop myself on the back of different tips around the world. Maybe like New York tip, maybe different tip. Bangladesh, I'm sure that's a different vibe.
Bangladesh.
On the top of one of those Indian kind of like rubbish tips.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's where it's
with
all
like
going
big
anyway.
seagulls and stuff.
Sam, you need to be, when you're doing shows up and down the country, you need to be finding the local recycling plants and just getting a couple of pictures there.
Maybe I could. That could be a little marketing campaign, couldn't it? You know?
Sam. I just want you very quickly because I know you both got to go. But the Minecraft movie, talk to us.
Oh wow, yeah. Do you know what? I did a video on it yesterday, and it's just gone absolutely mental. And the BBC News have just been in. I did a piece just before this with BBC News about it. Took me lads to see the Minecraft movie. They're 10 years old, twins, and obsessed with Minecraft. I don't know anything about it, despite the fact they give me a Minecraft TED talk every day as I'm trying to get the bleeding shoes on and get them out the house. Yeah. But I don't soak it in because it's just noise to me. So we go and see the film and the cinema is chocker with gangs of lads and they're all shouting and laughing and being dead loud. And as the trailer starts, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to say something here. But I'm going to look like an idiot because they're not going to listen to me. There's loads of them. So then I'm thinking, how do I speak to this gang of lads without me kids thinking my dad's a pathetic, weak man? So I'm like, well, I can't do anything because they probably suspect that anyway. So I don't want to confirm it in front of them in public. Anyway, the film starts and everyone just goes dead quiet. Yeah. And then there's certain lines from the film. This is on the second day. It only come out the day before, so no one knew the film. But people knew lines from the trailer. And there's a bit where Jack Black says, as a child, I yearned for the mines, in that Jack Black voice. And everyone sang along with him. And it was like the Rocky Horror Show. It was unbelievable. And everyone's clapping and cheering. It was like a rock concert. Boss. And by the end of it, there's a few other lines where people just went bananas for. And at the end of it, the credits rolled. Some Scouse lad right behind me, in the Scousest voice possible, he just said to his mate, masterpiece, that lad. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Honestly, it was the most joyous experience I've ever had because we don't live in America. We don't get that in cinemas. The only way I could describe it would be if when we were kids, the way Star Wars was.
Yeah.
If we were all obsessed with Star Wars the way we were, but there'd never been a Star Wars movie until we were 15, and then we went and saw Star Wars, which we were aware of, but we'd never seen it on the silver screen. It was like that. It was amazing.
Amazing.
And the film celebrates creativity and building stuff and creating.
Isn't it just a big landfill though?
I mean, it's
not just going
very similar to the tip, isn't it?
That's why
you probably build a tip in Minecraft. That'll be the sequel.
Fair play.
Sounds amazing. Dave, have you got any designs on going to see Minecraft?
No.
Waiting for it to come on Sky.
No, well, that's why I suspected that would be the answer. I just wanted to ask you.
Dave's read the book. And the book's better than the film.
The book was better.
Minecraft has passed me by. My nearly 18-year-old daughter, it's not on her list of interests or hobbies. So
no, fair play.
Sounds like a book written in Germany in the 40s, but that might be a
Minecraft. Yeah.
Again.
Is this the sequel?
You've done so well.
Absolutely.
You've done so well. Let's leave it. Let's leave it there.
It's a book all about cream cheese during, the rough times.
Well done, boys. Great show.
Thanks, lads.
Let's tiptoe out of this.
Tiptoe
and Son.
Tiptoe and Sons.
Yeah, exactly. Which was ironically about all, picking bits of rubbish on us. Anyway, let's
Actually
go.
Quite the opposite of tipping, isn't it?
Yeah, really. Yeah, he was collecting it. He was the other end.
You filthy old man.
Oh, you dirty old man. Right, let's leave it. Boys.
Another reference for the generation.
For the ages, yeah. I mean, I'm too young for it, but you know what I mean? There you go.
That's what they said.
You go.
It's so old, it's not even on gold anymore.
No. Old but gold. Oh, no, it's not. It's too old. Right, lads, brilliant. As always, thank you very much for joining us. And make sure you like it, subscribe, do all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. Take it easy. Bye.